Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S. Hope everyone's well, wherever you are. Back at you with part four of my ideas, plans, thoughts, and general dreams and that sort of thing for Italian football and Celtic. My rather naive and possibly rather foolish ideas and dreams, perhaps, but you never know. Maybe they can make a difference, hopefully, in a positive way, I hope. But I really appreciate any people who support my channel and like my videos, subscribe to the channel, and share the videos and things like that. And if you do watch this video and you're new and you subscribe to the channel, please let me know. And if you want me to, I'll return the favor and I'll like your videos and view if I can, if and when I can, and that kind of thing. But yeah, please do support the channel. And I hope as many fans of Italian football and Celtic especially, or football generally even, but especially Italian football fans and Celtic fans, comment in the comment section about your club, like who, let's say Lazio fans, AC Milan fans, Inter Milan fans, Juventus fans, and fans of all possible Italian teams, even lower division teams, Serie B, Serie C, or how we pronounce it, and that sort of thing, as well as Celtic. I'd love to know like who you would like to be involved in your club, what your dreams are for your club, like about maybe even getting wealthy owners, who you would like to see as a manager, the coach, players, the coaching staff, what you would like to see in terms of youth development, but what players you would like to see at the club, as I say, from overseas as well, or what sort of investment you'd like to see, what sort of ideas you have, what you would like to see, like maybe even fans being able to own part of the club for both Italian teams and Celtic, and like being able to donate. If would you be prepared to donate your own money to the club if it meant trophies and success, or that kind of thing? But yeah, I'd just love to read your comments generally, like whatever you think, and if you got any constructive criticism or feedback to help me to improve, hopefully. And also, I especially welcome positive comments. Obviously, that encouraged me, hopefully. But yeah, as my mum is away at the moment, hopefully for as long as possible, because I love having the house to myself, so I can focus and hear myself think and make my own decisions and things like that. So I find people a bit bossy, but yeah, I love having my own me time as well. Sometimes I like to socialize as well. But anyway, I'm probably waffling along. But it's a couple of days late because I meant to do it on April Fool's Day. Like I say, Fools. As it was April Fool's Day, and I'm saying these like my foolish or naive ideas. But I think that covers everything for the intro. But yeah, I'd love to read what you think, what you would love for your club. And I'm sure there was something I was going to say the other day, but I forgot. And that's a bit frustrating about my memory. Yeah, this is part of my dyslexic and possibly even mentally ill creativity. So again, I'd love to read your encouraging comments if you want to encourage me. And I'd love to have as many subscribers and viewers as possible. I really appreciate that. Anyway, moving on. For once, I don't have a cup of tea with me. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Here goes. So number 31. As I say, I would love for as many as the point of these videos is like to share my ideas, and I'd love to encourage as much investment and sponsorship and that sort of thing into Italian football and Celtic as possible. Like I've talked before about like local businesses investing in Italian football and Celtic respectively, Celts, Italians around the world, Celts around the world, and all that kind of thing, coming together and investing in Italian football and Celtic, and possibly sharing ideas as well. Like there could be committees or think tanks. I'd love it if former players, as well as current players, even managers, people like Ancelotti, Baggio, Del Piero, and Cannavaro, and people like that, sharing their ideas, and like Ancelotti could perhaps bring what he might have learnt at his time at Real Madrid to Italian football. I'd love to hear from AC Milan fans. Like, would you love Ancelotti to come back to Milan, to AC Milan, and also like especially fans of Italian football, but even fans of football generally? I'd love to read your comments. Like, who would you love to see at your club as a manager, coach, and all that? I'd love to see Juventus, like I was saying with Juventus. I would love to see uh, Pep Guardiola perhaps, and maybe him working together with Zidane as the coach, so he can pass on his skills and tricks. Because I admired him as a player, and he did play for Juventus. So just like he managed Real Madrid, I think it'd be cool if he coached or maybe managed Juventus and was an ambassador. But I'd love for as many people as possible to share their ideas with the Italian football, like the FIGC, Italian football authorities, to encourage people to share their ideas, and also Celtic. And maybe they could incorporate what they think are the best ideas, or maybe through trial and error to try different ideas and see how they work. And And again, as I mentioned before, I'd love for Italians to practice, as well as young Celts, especially Celts generally, but especially young Celts and young Italians especially, to practice for as long as possible. Number 32, on Facebook, I tried to share part 4, which I made on Facebook. I should probably be careful not to be considered spamming, but I wanted to share with as many like Italian groups, Italian football groups, the FIGC itself, Serie A, and people involved in football in Italy, and even politicians. So I wanted to try and reach out to those, and maybe I'll try again on Friday, like Football Friday, or something like that, if I'm patient enough to wait till that long. This Friday coming, Good Friday, hopefully it'll be very good. Sorry, my lame attempts at humour there, but to share with Italian football fans and like Italian politicians, even if I could find some, to see, as well as like people involved in Celtic as well, like the club, and also local politicians, how they can work with the club to do like positive things. Number 33, I would love for Italian football and Celtic to support libertarianism. Obviously, that's a bias of mine as a fan of Italian football and libertarian. But with Celtic, I imagine it would be quite difficult because there's a lot of socialists or communist fans. I support them as an anti-imperialist. I know that's a bit hypocritical being an Italian fan, but I support Italian football because I supported them when I was younger because I think I look Italian. But that's a different story. I don't want the video to be too long, so I won't go into that in too much details in this video specifically. Number 34, I hope Italian football and Celtic will work together to like football for good, work together to make peace through football, tackle poverty, illnesses, diseases, natural disasters, like prevent as many things, negative things as possible, but also support like victims of crime, victims of natural disasters, discourage domestic violence. I know Italian football has done that already. Like the players had like a red, like some red paint or something on their face, like to as a symbol to discourage domestic violence. Excuse me. And I hope they'll continue to do stuff like that and do more of it in the future, like discourage football hooliganism, discourage crime, and like to encourage people to do positive things with football, and like give young people in Italy, and Celtic could do similar, give them something to do. Maybe they could work with the local politicians, as I say, and in Celtic's case, get lottery funding. Maybe Italy could have its own lottery where it raises money for football and like gives half the prize money to football or something like that. And like, so it could be a €1 ticket. And if millions of people play, the winner could get half the money and the rest could be donated to like building football academies, perhaps. Another one of my dyslexic creative ideas. And but yeah, that could be used to keep youngsters out of trouble, like, and also encourage them to have better diets. I imagine like if you have so many former players or people involved, like people generally sharing their ideas, sometimes it could be that they could argue, but I think that they could argue a lot, but I think they should like agree to disagree, and the FIGC and Celtic try to implement the best possible ideas. But maybe they could just try and implement as many of those ideas as possible as they have time for, and like prioritize some of them and try do like trial and error, so that try to make the best ideas win, and learn from the world of business and things like that as well. Like maybe people from the diaspora, the Italian and Celtic diaspora, could also share ideas about how to, like from the world of business, like what they've learned from business, how to attract investment, how to make sure the best ideas win, and things like that. Although normally for business, I normally love to support what I call the six, which are like developing countries or former colonies. But yeah, maybe Irish entrepreneurs could invest and have shares in Celtic. People could donate like spaces and places for sport, which I talked before about, like business people and people like that, and even individuals, maybe even leave money. Sorry if this is a bit morbid, but maybe leave money in their will. Again, I know I've covered that idea a little bit before, but for Italian football and Celtic, or yeah, donate as much as they can. If they have money they don't think they're going to use. I think it'd be interesting to hear from Italian fans, like where does football rank in your priorities? Like, would you prefer your local team or even national team especially to win, or would you prefer to have more money or a bigger house or a better car or stuff like that, or more status? Which one would make you feel better? And I think it'd be interesting if Italians prioritized football as much as possible, maybe even more than making money and stuff like that, similar with Celtic fans perhaps. But if they donated money to like build pitches, and from club team level, like a club team level, like buying better players, from the Italian national point of view level, developing academies for younger players for the future, and that kind of thing. Number 35, if I could personally, I would love to hope this is not going to sound too morbid, but I would love to, in my will, I don't know if I could sign a will, because I think if you sign a will, you have to say, let's say in my case, I, Michael Shenton, being of sound mind. So I don't know if I'd be able to sign a will. I'm trying to partly be humorous, but in a serious note, I don't know if I would be able to. But if I did, I would say, like, I would love to donate my body to science. I know that's a little bit off topic, but if I could, I'd love to give 20% of my money to, or even in my lifetime, if I could, if I had enough money to live on, I would love to give 20% of whatever I don't need to Italian football and Celtic. 20% to libertarianism, 20% to former colonies, supporting former colonies, or people from former colonies, and sport, tackling of poverty and alleviation of suffering as well. I was going to just include Italian football and Celtic, but I thought I'd go through what I'd give to the rest of with the rest of my money. Like, so 20% to each of those things, like alleviating suffering, tackling poverty, tackling support for people who have been through natural disasters, tackling poverty, as I say, and things like that, making the world a better place. Excuse the corners of that. But yeah, 20% of my money, if I could, above what I need to live on, of course. Like, obviously, I need bare essentials like shelter and things like that. But other than shelter, food, drink, and things that I need to live on, like 20% of whatever else I had above what I need to live on. Like, if my channel grew by some miracle and I made enough money from my channel, I would donate, like, say, 20% above what I need, I'd say. And even in my will, I would love to give 20% of whatever I have to Italian football and 20% Celtic and those other causes as well. I think I'd stick to those things for this video. But yeah, moving on. Number 36. I hope that yeah, I think it'd be an interesting idea. For instance, if let's say Italian businesses, not just in Italy, but also around the world, donated like 10% of their profits or 10% of whatever money they have or wealth to developing football in Italy, similar with Celts for Celtic, and again, Italians and Celts around the world working together to improve Italian football and Celtic specifically. Yeah, well, that's 10% of their revenues, 10% of their profits, or even of their own money or wealth or assets or things like that towards Italian football and Celtic, respectively, or even each of those things. And local businesses in Italy could donate to their local clubs, like on the AC Milan side of Milan, it could be like they could donate to AC Milan, and the Inter Milan side, they could donate to Inter Milan, and that kind of thing. Number 37. I've often talked about alliterations, but I would love for, like, say, for instance, McDonald's which does a lot for football in the community and stuff like that. I'd love for them especially to have football in Milan, and even like have friendly matches between AC Milan and Inter Milan, even though they're rivals, and even like M&M's and other companies that have M&M, financial companies, fitness companies, and all sorts to invest in like football in Italy and Celtic generally. And a lot of times it could be on alliterations, or maybe McDonald's could, or M&M's and or the Mars company or whatever other companies could have football pitches across Italy generally. But yeah, if they could, a potential idea is they could stick to alliterations, like companies that begin with M, investing in football in Milan and in Monza generally. I know I have some mad ideas. Number 38. I would love for a neurodiverse, as I often talk, I'd love to set up like a neurodiverse millionaires and even a neurodiverse billionaires network, and have separate groups like dyslexic billionaires network, which is an idea I had a while back, and an ADHD billionaires network, and even an autistic, and even possibly a dyspraxic billionaires network if there are any dyspraxic people who are billionaires, and also like a general neurodiverse billionaires network for all those groups to come together as well. So like having them separately and all together. And I would live for them to invest in Italian football and Celtic, which the world could see, like what dyslexic people have achieved, like neurodiverse people generally, what we've achieved through that sort of thing at the same time. So yeah, and hopefully winning trophies. And in the future, hopefully people will see that neurodiverse people helped Italian football and Celtic to win trophies. Number 39, lost my train of thought again, sorry. But yeah, so I'd love to develop those companies and organizations, as say dyslexic billionaires and groups like that. And with the dyspraxic group, that's what I was going to say, with the dyspraxic group, it would be quite an irony, because dyspraxic people normally are not that great at sports. And it reminds me of like when people said the when I read something, I don't normally read much, but I don't read books, but online I read that Steve Ballmer, one of the co-founders of Microsoft, it's quite ironic because he probably wasn't the most sporty person, but it's quite ironic that he owns like an American football, like NFL or whatever. Not proper football, if I'm honest, but in my opinion. But and I'm sure many people will agree with me. But sorry for any Americans out there. I hope I don't offend you or anyone else for that matter. But which is never my intention. But yeah, sorry, I do waffle. But I thought it'd be quite ironic if dyspraxic people who have done well, like dyspraxic millionaires or even billionaires or dyspraxic people generally, even donate to Italian football like and Celtic. Maybe on my behalf, like so, yeah, to support a fellow dyspraxic and my dreams. But yeah, I'm one of the few dyspraxic people probably who's interested in sports. Oh, in my case, football or soccer for any Americans out there. But yeah, I thought it reminds me of that story, like with Steve Ballmer, like how he's invested in a sports team in America, even though he's probably not the most sporty person. Yeah, and on that note, I'd love for Bill Gates. Unfortunately, Paul Allen's no longer with us. I don't know why I did that, but unfortunately, Paul Allen's no longer with us. But I'd love for Microsoft, Satya Nadella, or Bill Gates, or Steve Ballmer, or all of them to invest in, or maybe even through Cascade Investments, to invest in Italian football, as I mentioned before, like with Cagliari or Cremonese or Catania or whatnot, and Celtic maybe even. And Microsoft to invest in Inter Milan. Elon Musk, I thought it'd be interesting if Elon Musk invested his personal money into Empoli. Companies begin with E, investing into Empoli, and Microsoft investing in Inter Milan. And also Elon Musk, perhaps, given that his surname begins with M, could perhaps invest in Inter Milan. I thought that'd be quite interesting if he had a rivalry with Jeff Bezos. If Jeff Bezos invests in AC Milan through Amazon. But yeah, I'd also love for Tesla itself to invest in Torino. And number 40, I'd love to hear what you think. What out of all the ideas I mentioned, which one do you think are the most foolish, or which ones didn't you like, and which ones do you think could work? As someone said in a video I watched, about entrepreneurship and advice for entrepreneurs. Basically, he said that you want to have an idea that sounds that where you can say it sounds crazy, but here's why it's not as crazy as it sounds, something like that. So maybe some of these ideas hopefully will be more better than I think, and hopefully people out there enjoy these videos more than I think. But again, if you let me know in the comments, it will really encourage me. But yeah, sorry if I did waffle a lot, and I'd love to hear what you think about my mad and dyslexic creativity. Not all dyslexics are mad like me, I'm sure. But anyway, I am out. Peace and love.